Okay, that's how we're starting today's show. Good evening, Mzansi. You are tuned into TrendingSA right here on S3. We are 4 months into the year. Can you guys believe it? Yes.
I can believe it.
And your favorite faces are still serving you all the ins and outs of the daily trends. My name is Maple, and sitting next to me is the scintillating and second reigning monarch of this table. In case anything happens to me, it's Lut Love.
Can you read? Is my question, because that's not what that screen says.
Yeah.
Reigning monarch.
You must stop bribing
King
people.
Loot, everybody, thank you so much.
No, it's the second in command. Yeah. And then we also, the script today is just weird. We also have radio's favorite protagonist, More Flavor.
Flavor.
Looking rather debonair. Not in that, like, pizza kind of way.
What's happening with your jacket? It's like a bomber jacket and a suit jacket at the same time.
It's a
Not
combo.
you asking those questions.
It's a
when
combo.
your colors are fighting each other.
All right, let's get into it. Combos and all. It's time for your top trends.
Guys, I bumped into this video that has completely gone viral, and it actually made my day. Check it out. Guys, this is in Washington, D.C., and the reason why I think I watched it about 60 times. I love the fact that that country is in turmoil, especially what the black people are going through over there in America. And for me to see that, them having fun with towels on the street, by the way, Mo, we're doing that video, and the lady in red just finished it for me.
So we're doing that. Invited to the video?
No, you can't put on a towel unless we encase it in.
Wow, okay, cool. I was just going to say, look, I was going to say, look what happens when you stick to who you truly are, where you're authentically South African, and you create something that's yours, and look at how everybody goes crazy over it all over the world. I love it. I don't think we've had a genre like this since Ecuador, do you know what I mean? Everybody's tried, but I'm a piano just taking it to the top tizzy, and I love it.
I love it. In fact, one thing that's quite clear is the openness of American society in taking in different things from different parts of the world. And we know how mixed they are culturally. They're very cosmopolitan. Yes, there might be minority groups in there, black people, Hispanic, but generally they're very receptive. So when they hear something cool, like a Yano's vibe, they're with that, towels and all, you know? And at the rate things are going, those towels are going to fall off, because you know what might be Yano.
It goes crazy.
Things go all the way.
But the Zekete, though, is a dance and a half. Yo, won't lie.
Well, to cast or not to cast, that is the question. It certainly was the burning question at the Q&A session of local filmmaker Athi Petela's film called Trapped. It happened over the weekend. So during the session, she made several statements about casting queer actors. You have to take a look at this.
Yes, there's queer people existing out there. The particular me says, if you're not good for the story, queer or not, you're not getting it.
Yeah. Her stance on casting queer actors in her work were heavily criticized by many members of the LGBT plus community, and they had a lot to say. Guys, Lut, what's happening? What do you think of this whole situation?
I think that I hear what she's saying, and I fully agree. Do you know what I mean? If it's about talent to me, right? Can you play the part or can you not? If you can't, I don't cast you for this particular role, right? But I understand, I guess, what the frustration is. But then also, what happens to the artistry of acting? You play different roles in different spaces, and you tell stories you haven't really lived, but you imagine and you bring to life. So where is then the fine line between casting what makes sense for the role, and then when does gender fit in, and where does talent get left out?
I agree with you, Lut, when it comes to preserving the art form. I love to see when, like, a straight man like Mo Flava takes on a role that's outside of his comfort zone. That's beautiful. But the thing in this, the problematic thing in this particular case is that with queer people, these roles come by every 3 to 4 years or 2 years and whatever. And then for them to actually find themselves in a situation where a movie like this comes out and still it's given to the people that are always considered for other jobs. That's the problematic part. And the way that she said it, it sounded to me like she went on this wide cast of every queer person who can act. By the way, drama departments across the country are rainbow flags and unicorns.
Yeah.
And she's saying that nobody's qualified.
Right.
Sure.
And this was a queer movie. So
hear
that's the problematic part.
Yeah, my thing is, a couple of things come to mind here. As much as we can applaud actors who can step out of comfort roles and play every single type of role out there, straight man playing a gay role, etc.
Yeah.
But we clearly cannot ignore the importance of platforms like this, films, you know, theater productions, series, all these platforms in advancing the cause of the LGBTQ plus communities. Because if there's a platform like this that is out there, then we need to use it for the greater good, which is to give opportunities to people who are queer, who are gay, who can play those queer gay roles.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
Sure.
Definitely. I just think that this was an oversight, and the way in which she said it made it come out that way. She might have not meant it, but it came out the wrong way, especially during the current climate right now.
Read the room. Well, speaking of reading rooms, the South African Social Security Agency, SASSA, they took to the socials to let us know that they are celebrating their remarkable 15 years of SASSA with the hashtag 15 years of SASSA. Take a look at this. Tando Makubu started his creamery business in March through the SASSA 350 Rand grant. He advises SASSA beneficiaries to use the grant to create something sustainable for their communities. Woo. That's from the official Twitter page. Well, I gotta say, this post ignited quite the response. I mean, PG Maumela came in with this, flying, saying, very wrong from @official SASSA. They are misleading people. The grant is not a startup for business, but to assist the recipient.
The opposite side went in with Perfecto Mabaso chiming in with this. What's wrong with having an entrepreneurial edge while needing a social grant? It sounds like people should not be using the 350 to make more money for themselves. Now, here's my thing here, guys. I know Mina of girls like Osive, or Kulu, or Mta from Emma Lukshini who have actually they took part of the 350 and they went and they bought Iyaki bulk and they started doing braids, and now they've got salons. You know what I'm saying? Abonomfusi, those kind of girls in the townships. So, but the problem here is that that's not what you go and brag about. That's not your mandate.
100%. But also, if you need to get a grant for 350 to survive, there's very little time for you to think out the box, think as an entrepreneur. That money is going somewhere. You don't even have the time, I don't know, to probably just rest and sleep properly. You know what I mean? So where are you going to create from? It's very...
Well, I mean, it's almost like the same script over and over again. Government and their messaging, how they communicate the things they do and how they relate to what is out there about what the government has been doing. And in this particular case, as much as we know that some people clearly start businesses, however small or big, but is that the kind of messaging that government should be lapping onto and using it as some sort of campaign to legitimize what they're doing? I mean, is that not being tone deaf?
There's Umsobovu, there's the NYDA. Those are the people that should be talking about, we gave you money and you started a business, not them.
Sure. There's just something about government communication which always just falls through the cracks.
Please help them more. Please do something. So we've got more trends coming your way, and when we come back, we'll be talking to Prof Mamokgethi Phakengabout about the hashtag Cape Town fires. You don't want to miss it. See you in a bit.
You're still tuned into TrendingSA right here on S3. So the 18th of April marked an unforgiving and tumultuous day for the Cape Town residents. I mean, an uncontrollable wildfire erupted on Table Mountain in the early hours of Sunday morning. The blaze quickly spread. It made its way through to the slopes of Rhodes Memorial, where a restaurant was engulfed and destroyed, mounting a catastrophic ripple effect, which basically has since claimed parts of the University of Cape Town, including the Jagger Library, the historic Mostarts Mill, and some of the surrounding areas as well, just to name a few.
What was originally thought to be a vegetation fire is now being investigated as a possible arson case, with one suspect in custody and the police in search for 2 more. And of course, social media is flooded with probable cause speculations. Now, in the midst of all this havoc and anguish, more than 200 firefighters risked their lives and are fighting tirelessly to douse the blaze.
And right now, University of Cape Town Vice-Chancellor Prof Mamokgethi Phakengabout joins us to talk about the impact the Cape Town fires have had on the University of Cape Town. Welcome to TrendingSA, Prof.
Thank you very much.
How are your stress levels, Prof?
Well, we're hanging in there. One has to be strong. There's a community to carry through, and there's a bright future ahead, even though we are going through a hard time now.
A lot of people talk about what happens after a fire in an open field and what grows from there, Prof. But let's quickly talk about what's been happening since the blaze has claimed, several buildings at UCT. I mean, what's the current state of affairs at the university, and how would you summarize the damage on the ground?
The damage is huge. The damage mainly to the Jagger Library. Of course, we've been looking at what has been miraculously saved. We've lost plus minus 3,500 African film collection. We've lost that. Part of the government publications collection we've lost. We think we have saved some of the African studies collection, particularly the Khoi and the San manuscript, which we kept in the basement, may be saved, which we are hugely delighted about. So that's the damage to the collection. But of course, the building is also hugely damaged. And then there's the other building is the biological sciences building, the Pearson building, which is hugely damaged. The roof and the upper floors completely destroyed by fire, and the floors below were severely damaged by fire, and the sprinkler system which was deployed on the fire. And that building, the biological sciences building, hosts the bolus collection. And that bolus collection is a collection that contains approximately 1/3 of a million specimens, and we kept them in steel cabinets, and that's why they were saved. And this is the 3rd largest bolus herbarium in South Africa, and one of the largest university herbaria in the Southern Hemisphere. It has over 11,000 types of specimen, especially of the Cape flora. The bolus herbarium houses a disproportionate number of for all its collection types. So it's a huge resource for our biological sciences and conservation scientists. Many people come to the university to gain access to it and to use it. And so we are glad that steel cabinet looks safe. We are currently draining water. Even in the library, we're draining because of the fire, they used water to douche the fire. So now they're draining water out so that we can see that, in fact, the water didn't get into the steel cabinets and into the collection, the Khoi and San collection that we have in the basement of the Jagger Library. So, but I'm saying to colleagues, I mean, if with the Khoi and the San manuscripts, if it's water, perhaps there's something. If it's only water damage, and depending on how much, perhaps there's something that we can still recover. So
something can be salvaged.
That kind of.
Thank God for the things that can be saved. There is obviously a light a bit in this really dark tunnel. But Professor, I know that you guys are going through so much in your minds. You're stressed, probably not sleeping. But is there at this stage a recovery plan in sight? What is it looking like?
Well, we do. I mean, first of all, we want to bring back the students back onto campus because we do want to start the academic program next week. So we're working on bringing the students back to campus as of tomorrow and Thursday so that they can have time to relax from Thursday, Friday, and the weekend, and then restart on Monday. We of course, to do that, we've got to make sure that the rooms can be used. And then we're working with our insurers. I mean, today and tomorrow, we're having structural engineers who are looking at the integrity of the building, how much is damaged, whether people in the buildings that have fire, whether people can walk in because they've got to clear and so on. And then we'll have the insurers next week. And then we start counting the costs. How much will it cost? When can we start? Our idea is we've got to start rebuilding as soon as we can. We don't want to get used to staying with the damage as it is for too long. So as soon as the insurers have done the calculations, then we'll get on with the rebuilding, restoration of the buildings.
Thank you so much, Prof, for giving us this update, and we wish you all the best, and we hope that you guys actually did save those manuscripts that were down there and the police collection. We will keep coming back to you if there are any further developments.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, guys, don't go anywhere, because after the break, we'll take a look at how to report rape with director and founder of the TS Foundation, Mara Glennie. See you in a jiffy.
And just like that, we're back. Welcome back to TAR on S3. Take action. Play an active role in tackling the scourge of gender-based violence together with Vodacom. I mean, the time to turn a blind eye to this unprecedented rate of GBV in South Africa is long gone. Vodacom has created a GBV command center that is available 24/7. It offers counseling from qualified social workers through digital literacy and real-time resources. Vodacom is urging you to play your part as well.
With technology and humanity, we can go further together. Vodacom.
So April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and South Africa is declared the rape capital of the world. Many women still find reporting rape or sexual assault cases a stumbling block. And as a result, many women have opted not to report their rape cases. Tonight, in our Flowers Not First segment, we are going to take a microscopic look at how to report rape.
And to help us outline the procedures of reporting a rape or sexual assault case, we have Mara Glennie, who is the director and founder of the TS Foundation, which is an organization that provides access to crisis intervention, advocacy, counseling, and prevention education services for those impacted by domestic violence, sexual assault, and child sexual abuse. These confidential services are available to all victims at absolutely no charge. Mara, welcome to TrendingSA. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you. Hello.
The onus of, reporting a case of rape or sexual assault solely lies on the survivor. So what are some of the, pointers one should consider when reporting a case with the SAPS?
First of all, it's not your fault. The perpetrator is the person that's responsible. So the police should help you when you go in and say, I've been raped. And it doesn't matter whether you were drunk, whether you were naked, or whether you were stoned or in another form of intoxication. The rapist is at fault, and it's never, ever your fault.
Mara, many rape cases unfortunately get thrown out of court due to lack of material evidence. And in an unfortunate incident of rape or sexual assault, what are some of the precautionary measures one should take in order to ensure that they do not contaminate vital evidence that the police might need?
If you've been raped and you are going to lay a charge and you've taken your clothes off at home, put them into a brown paper packet, do not bath, do not wash, go straight to your nearest clinic so they can swab your vagina to get some of the semen if there was any. The reason for your clothes is there is genetic evidence, obviously, from hair follicles or skin. So the very important thing is to not contaminate any of your clothes and keep them in a safe place. Why you don't put it into plastic is because plastic sweats and keeps all the, whereas brown paper or newspaper breathes.
Sure.
I mean, Mara, one of the concerning things here are the stats, and they're alarming. Women being raped, I think, every 17 seconds in South Africa. But one of the other issues we have is when it comes to the reporting, I mean, the support that victims get from public services, the officials, SAPs, I mean, I think that exacerbates and even discourages a lot of victims from actually going out there and reporting. How do we go about ensuring that officials are actually doing their jobs properly, treating sexual assaults and the victims in a manner that they ought to be?
I absolutely understand that concern. I started tears because I am a victim of abuse, and I went to the police station and I did not get the help that I needed. So we developed a service, which I'm hoping you'll put up on your board, but this is the number, *134*7355#, where you can get the 3 nearest places to you geographically where you can go for help. You need to go for help immediately.
Please repeat the number for us.
It is very important, because if you don't get healing, which is why I called my organization Tears, Bringing Hope and Healing, because if you're not healed, you can't, not only have they sexually molested you, but they've stolen part of your life because you're not well delivered.
Mara, please repeat that number for our viewers.
*134*7355. It's a USSD number. You follow the prompts. There are 2 kinds of prompts on the service. The first prompt is to get your nearest facility that can help you. The second one is if you are in an emergency situation, someone will speak to you and we will send someone to help you.
Thank you so much. Just lastly, Mara, I just want to know, in an instance that you suspect that someone has been sexually or physically violated, what process should one follow in that regard as a third party, and how does one even determine if a violation has occurred, especially if the victim is scared to speak up?
It's very, very difficult because I know, because we deal with thousands of survivors. As a matter of interest, in the last 3 months of the lockdown, we dealt with 10,000 people a month. That's a lot of people who've been raped and violated and who feel safer to speak out on the phone. And not all of them anonymously either. So the first thing you need to do is be non-judgmental. I believe you. I want to help you. I'm here for you. How can I help you? What do you need? Because those are the questions. People have to get well by themselves. They cannot get well because you're forcing them to, or because you're giving them the right advice. They will then tell you what they need. I need a safe place. I always say women don't leave, but where do they go? What are we all? We're saying leave. We're not saying leave and come and live with me. So we need to give them a way to get healing.
I totally agree with that, Mara. Thank you so much for your time, and we appreciate all the insight you've given us. Thank you so much. All right. There we go. Some very, very important information and a conversation there that you need to take note of. You can continue to help the ones you love with Vodacom's ongoing commitment to preventing gender-based violence. You can download the free Bright Sky app, or you can call Vodacom's GBV Command Center. That's 0800 GBV GBV. It's available 24 hours, 7 days a week for your support.
All right. And just like that, guys, we've come to the end of another show. It's been amazing. We'll catch you again tomorrow, same time, same place. Good night.